Hey Chris, how are you doing today?
Oh, Pat, how you doing? I'm Jake. I'm Chris.
It's nice seeing you again, Chris. I'd like to take a little moment. It seems like we've kind of had a little bit of disagreement the past few months. There's some repairs that need to go on in my apartment, and I've stopped paying rent. And I
Mhm.
kind of would just like to sit down and talk this out and kind of figure where we're at. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I actually appreciate you coming to me because this was something that I also wanted to bring up.
Okay.
There's been a bit of dilemmas recently with all the constant changes you've been making or constant problems that's been happening at the apartment, and I've been notified a lot of times within like a weekly frame, and it's been little to say a bit obnoxious personally because I know that I want to help as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But constant daily callings, it's something that I can't always attend to. So I'm glad you at least came up and wanted to speak to about it because it was something that I also want to speak about as well.
Great. I'm glad we're on the same page at least this far. How about you go ahead and start and kind of just let me know like how you're feeling right now, what your position is. Let me know what's going on.
Yeah. So honestly, there's been since you've gotten that place, I've had nothing but trouble and calls from you constantly. And I get it. A lot of those things it is my obligation to fix. And if there is a problem with a lot of the things that were current existing in the apartment, that's my job to fix. The problem comes when it's a weekly thing on the same exact things that I just fixed before, because that tells me that I'm fixing it, but it's getting broken right afterwards. Who's breaking it? So I don't mind fixing those things, the washer, dryer, sinks, things like that. I'll do that. When it's recurring and it's constant, that becomes a bit of a concern to me because I'm putting all this money into this apartment that you're supposed to be taking care of, and I'm actually paying for all the expenses.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm understanding just from that is like your issue seems to be just with me getting in touch with you all the time. Is that right?
Well, it's getting in touch, but then on top of that, not necessarily taking the proper precautions and making sure the apartment stays in as good of a condition as it was when I first gave it to you.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a twofold problem, obviously I enjoy not always being constantly contacted, but that's okay if it's for a good reason. The big thing is that reason that you're contacting me because you're not taking, proper care of the apartment? Is that's a bit of the more angle that I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything like deeper that's bothering you? Is this the only issue, or is there anything else going on?
I mean, as far as a lot of the issues are concerned, I think I did a well enough job of just saying that I would hope that you kind of get where I'm coming from as taking care of the apartment is concerned. And I actually have a question for you is, you've been contacting me on this weekly basis, daily basis for quite a while. What's been going on recently that you feel like a lot of these things that I've already been fixing needs to be fixed again and again and again? What exactly is the problem here?
Well, you haven't been fixing the things. Whatever you've been doing hasn't fixed any of the problems that have been going on inside my apartment. So I felt like I just had to keep like letting you know because nothing was going on, nothing was happening on my side to make sure that my problems were really being handled the way that I thought that they needed to be handled.
Okay, I see that. Now, a lot of the things, like I just said, I don't mind helping you with, and hopefully, I can get those things done. Is there anything going on in the house that maybe I should be aware of as far as like why a lot of these things are just constantly occurring? Because before I didn't really have much of an issue. It's just now all of these things keep propping up. What's exactly going on in the house? Maybe I should also be aware of.
Well, I do have a cat, but we have discussed the cat, and you're aware of it, and you said I didn't have to pay for any damages of a pet.
So you do have a cat, okay.
Yeah.
Technically, we don't really have anything written as far as saying that you can't have a cat, so, I don't necessarily mind if there is a, animal in the household. But with that being said, I would like for you to make sure that the cat inside the house is, not just completely ruining the apartment. I'm not saying that it is or it isn't, it's just, sometimes people have animals and they get to take advantage of the house.
Yeah.
I would hope that's not being the case, and also the result of a lot of the issues that I've been, having to address is the result of the cat.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Some of the issues are a result of the cat just causing some of the minor damages, like the scratches or the holes in the window. But honestly, my main concern at this point is the larger issues, like the damages to the sink and that kind of thing, those are the more important ones to me. I can take care of whatever like damages the cat does because those are superficial, but it's whenever the larger issues come up that like really do affect like my daily life, and then they're dismissed, like they don't matter or like it's my fault.
Yeah, so do you feel like my previous interactions with you have not been sufficient enough in making sure that those are getting done?
Yeah.
And, was there any type of feelings associated with that type of, idea on how me not approaching you on those things made you feel?
Yeah, I honestly felt like you didn't trust me because just the way that we were doing, I felt like a lot of blame was put on me. And I just felt like nothing was being made important. Because these are issues that are important to me, and we are family friends, and it just seemed like it was dismissed really quickly, and nothing was really done about it in the time that I thought it was necessary.
Okay, so knowing that, I would like to think about maybe how we can, move forward from this. But before we get that done, I would like to just make sure to clear the air. Is there any type of thing that you need to make sure you'd like me to know? Maybe previous interactions, previous ways that you felt that I could best help work towards a solution if we're working towards a solution on only half the information.
I think for me, it's just like whenever I do approach you, like, because one of the main issues was I felt like I had to keep coming up to you. I felt like I had to give you a list and I had to call you constantly, and I had to make sure that you knew what was going on, and you didn't really give me any feedback on like when it was going to get done. Maybe if like we kind of just determined like, hey, whenever something does come up, like that you would kind of give me some feedback on, hey, I'm getting on it, but it may take a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Because I felt like that wasn't done probably because I felt really in the dark, and like I didn't know when anything was going to be happening, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped paying rent, was because I felt like that was my only choice. That's what I had to go to really make sure that these things that I needed in my daily life were taken care of.
No, exactly, and you're right. Definitely those things, such as the things that you use on a daily basis, that is my job to make sure they're taken care of. And if I haven't gotten to the point of, letting you know exactly when they're going to get done, that is my bad. I should have definitely done a better job at making clear to you how soon that was going to get. So let's say, from here on out, we don't have a lease. I would like, maybe for the future reference, that we not only have a lease, but also have, a list of things that I will make sure I will be taking care of. And in addition to taking care of, when you notify me, I will give you like a time frame, because some things, they're going to take longer than others.
Yeah, of course, I completely understand that. And I realized that it was maybe drastic measures to completely stop paying rent just because it was taking a little bit of longer time. But I think it's a good idea to have a lease just to kind of separate our relationship, since we are family friends. It was kind of just based on trusting each other, but I feel like we do need to have a separate relationship as well, like a more business relationship along with that friendship.
Yeah, I think it really does help to have a visual on knowing what I need to do and what you need to make sure you're capable of doing, and then we both can agree to that.
Exactly.
So if we can discuss, the big things that I'll make sure to attend to as soon as that I can, and at the best of your convenience as well, we'll put that in the lease. In addition to that, with that being said, some of the things that are not the result of, you or me, but your cat, for instance, I cannot be necessarily held reliable on making sure that's fixed, because that isn't technically of my concern to make fixed. Does that make any sense to you?
I completely understand that. It is my responsibility. I'm the one that owns the cat, and any kind of damages that she does, I will take care of that. I will not put that on you.
Yeah, but all the big things, I'll make sure to get those done. Actually, I know you've given me a list before, but if there's anything that you can give me within the next day, I'm going to try and get them all done by next week.
Okay.
At the same time, after all those things are done by next week, we'll craft that, get that lease set out for you. We both can, sign to it. I'll make it up. We both agree to it. And then for future references, we'll go by the lease.
Okay.
And that will be the way that we make distinction on what things need to be done by me versus you, and what time frame they need to be done by.
Okay. Based on my just whole behavior during this, is there anything that you would maybe like me to change on how I handle this situation?
I definitely think you did the right way in making sure that I'm made aware. Like, obviously, it was obnoxious for me to be, or obnoxious from my perspective, constantly notified, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah. And I'll make sure in the future that I won't call you as much. I'll make sure I let you know and maybe get that time frame, and I won't be pestering you as much as I did this time. I think we just didn't have good communication. We didn't have an understanding together, so that's why it had to go that way. But we have a lease that we want to set out. Got taken care of the cat. Not going to pest you in the future. Are there any other issues that we probably need to discuss?
I think it's all good. We clear up that backwater, all that stuff we have up to here, we get that finished, and then the lease will go on from there.
Okay.
If you give me a call, or if you come to my office like you did today, I'll definitely make sure to get you a notification on when and where we can get that done. And
Great.
that's everything that I had as my concern. Was there anything else for you?
I just am very happy with how this meeting has gone about, and I definitely want to start paying rent now. Once these issues are taken care of, that is something that we definitely need to make sure happens. I'll start paying rent, repairs will be done, and all of our issues will be addressed.
Well, thank you so much, Abbie. I appreciate you coming out tonight.
Thank you for seeing me.
All right. Boom.